When a man over 60 walks into a room with real muscle on his frame, we notice. And yeah, we treat him differently. 5 very specific ways, actually. And I promise you, number 3 is the one you've never considered, but it's happening every single time a woman talks to you. Look, I'm a 45-year-old woman. I watch how my friends respond to men at parties, at the gym, on dates. And here's the thing, the muscular guys over 60, they're playing a completely different game, and most of them don't even realize it. So, let's start with the first way you're being treated differently the moment you walk in that door, because this one's about what she's assuming about you before you even open your mouth. Number 1, the competence assumption. Here's what's actually happening in her mind when she sees you've built muscle after 60. She's not just thinking, oh, nice arms. No, she's making a much bigger assumption about who you are as a man. When a woman sees that you've clearly put in the work, that you've got definition, that you move with strength, her brain is doing this instant calculation, and it goes like this. If this guy has the discipline to build muscle at his age, what else does he have his life together? See, physical discipline is the most visible form of self-control. It's right there on your body. Can't fake it. Can't buy it. You either did the work or you didn't. And women, we extrapolate. We assume consciously or not that if you can show up to the gym consistently at 65, you probably show up in other areas too. Your finances likely handled. Your emotional regulation probably solid. Your ability to follow through on what you say. Yeah, we're betting on it. I was at brunch last month with 3 of my girlfriends, all of us in our 40s and 50s, and this guy, maybe 68, walks past our table, fit, not bulky, just clearly strong, takes care of himself. The conversation completely stopped. And then one of my friends, happily married by the way, leans over and whispers, "That's a man who respects himself." That's the phrase she used, respect. Because here's the contrast, and you need to hear this. When we see a man who's let himself go, belly hanging over the belt, shuffling instead of walking, that exhausted, defeated posture, we're making assumptions there too, and they're not good ones. We're thinking he's given up. He doesn't care anymore. If he won't invest in himself, why would he invest in me? I know that sounds harsh, but I'm not here to blow smoke. I'm here to tell you what women actually think when we think you're not listening. So yeah, the competence assumption, it's real and it's working in your favor every single day if you've got muscle on your frame. But here's the thing, and this is where it gets really interesting. It's not just about what she thinks you can do. It's about what she feels safe letting you do. And that changes everything about how she interacts with you, especially in ways you probably haven't even noticed yet. I'll explain. Number 2, the protection paradox. Okay, so this one's going to sound a little old-fashioned, but I'm just going to say it because it's true, and I see it play out constantly. When you're a muscular man over 60, women feel safer around you. And I don't just mean physically, though. Yeah, that's part of it. I mean emotionally, socially, in ways that open doors you didn't even know were closed. Let me break this down because it's nuanced, and most guys completely miss it. It's not about being intimidating. It's not about looking like you could throw someone through a wall. Actually, that works against you. Here's what most guys get wrong. They think bigger is always better. So, they bulk up. Huge traps, massive arms, that bodybuilder look, and then they wonder why women seem put off. You want to know why? Because you've crossed from protector into threat. There's a sweet spot, and it's not where you think it is. What women respond to, especially women over 40 who've lived a little, is capable strength, not show strength, not gym strength. Capable. It's the difference between a guy who looks like he could help you move furniture versus a guy who looks like he only lifts for Instagram. We want the guy who looks like he could handle himself if things went sideways in a parking lot or carry the heavy luggage without making it a production. Or, here's a big one. Stay calm when everyone else is panicking. That's the paradox. The muscle makes us feel protected, but it's not really about the muscle at all. It's about what the muscle represents, stability. Think about it. When you've built real strength after 60, when your posture is upright, your movements are confident, you're not winded walking upstairs, you're telegraphing something powerful, you're saying, I can handle what life throws at me. And if you're with me, I can handle what life throws at you too. That's catnip to a woman of a certain age, because by now, We've been around men who fold under pressure. We've dated the guy who has a meltdown when the restaurant loses his reservation. We've been with the man who can't figure out basic problems without falling apart. So, when we meet a man who's clearly got his physical house in order, we relax. And here's where it shows up in ways you probably don't notice. At social gatherings, women position themselves near you, not because they're hitting on you, though that might be happening too, but because you feel like a safe harbor. On trips or in unfamiliar places, women defer to your lead more easily. They trust your judgment faster. In group settings, other people, men and women, look to you when decisions need to be made. It's this subtle shift in social hierarchy that happens almost invisibly. And romantically, this is huge. A woman who feels physically and emotionally safe with you will let her guard down in ways she won't with other men. She'll be more playful, more open, more willing to be vulnerable. Because feeling protected isn't about weakness on her part, it's about trust. And trust is the foundation of everything, especially at this stage of life when we're done wasting time on men who can't hold space. Now, here's what's fascinating. Once you've established yourself as that guy, the capable, strong, stable presence, something interesting starts happening in conversations. Women start asking you different questions, and the way they talk to you completely changes. Pay attention next time because what I'm about to tell you, you'll notice it immediately once you see it. Number 3, the conversation shift. All right, so here's what I want you to notice. Next time you're talking to a woman, whether it's at a party, the gym, a coffee shop, wherever, if you're fit, at 60 plus, she's not really asking about your workout routine. She's asking about you. Let me explain what I mean. When a woman asks, "So, do you work out?" or "How do you stay in such great shape?" That's not small talk. That's an opening. She's trying to figure out, who is this guy? What makes him tick? Is he interesting beyond the surface? Because here's the thing, the muscle got her attention, no question. But the conversation is where she decides if you're worth her time. And fit guys over 60, they get a different quality of conversation. More curiosity, more respect, more investment from her side. It's not just what she asks, it's how she asks it. With the average guy, her questions are polite but surface level. She's being nice, going through the motions. But with you, if you're carrying real muscle at 62, 68, 73, she leans in. She maintains eye contact longer. She asks follow-up questions. She's not just being polite, she's genuinely curious about what kind of man has the discipline to build that physique when most of his peers have checked out. I'll tell you about something I witnessed last month. Friend of mine threw a dinner party about 12 people, mixed ages, and there was this guy there, maybe 67, retired architect, lean, strong, moved like an athlete. And here's what I noticed. They weren't asking what he did. They were asking why. They wanted to understand his mindset, his motivation. What drives a man to stay sharp when the culture tells him it's okay to fade? That's the conversation shift. Number 4, the invisible age shift. Okay? This is the part that's going to sound counterintuitive, but stay with me because this is the real advantage you have. And most guys your age don't even realize it's happening. When you're a muscular man over 60, women don't think you look 40. They don't look at you and go, "Wow, he could pass for younger." That's not what's happening at all. What they think is, "He's still in the game." See, there's a difference between looking young and seeming vital. And vitality, that's what we're responding to. A guy can have a full head of hair and a smooth face at 65 and still feel done, retired from life, going through the motions. But a guy with gray hair, maybe some lines around his eyes, some real mileage on him, if he's built muscle, if he moves with purpose, if there's energy in his presence, that man feels like possibility. And here's where it gets interesting because the opposite is also true. I've watched younger women, I'm talking women in their 30s, early 40s, become genuinely interested in men who are 20, 25 years older than them, specifically because of this vitality factor. Not as a sugar daddy thing, not as some weird fetish, but because that man is living proof that age doesn't have to mean decline. And for women who are dating at 50, 60, 70, when they see the fit man their own age, It's like finding water in the desert because the dating pool at that age is rough. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Most men have let themselves go. They're bitter or checked out. Or they've decided they're too old for romance, too old for adventure, too old for anything that requires effort. I'll be honest with you, I see this with my divorce friends all the time. Smart, attractive, accomplished women in their 50s who are starving for a man who still gives a damn about himself. They're not asking for perfection. They're asking for effort, for evidence that you haven't given up. And your muscle, that's the evidence. But here's what really happens when you've got this vitality thing working for you. You become the standard other men get measured against. Number 5, the permission to be selective. All right, here's number 5. And honestly, this might be the most powerful shift of all. When you're fit, over 60, something changes in the way you show up, and women can sense it immediately. You stop chasing and you start choosing. See, here's what happens. When most guys hit their 50s and 60s, they start operating from scarcity. They think their options are shrinking, so they get desperate. They chase. They try too hard. They settle for attention from women they're not even that into. And women, we smell that desperation from a mile away. But when you've built muscle, when you know you've done the work, when you can look in the mirror and respect what you see, you carry yourself differently. There's this quiet confidence, this abundance mentality, not arrogance. Don't confuse the two, but this sense of, I'm a high-value man. I've invested in myself and I'm not going to settle. And here's the crazy part. Women respond to that more than they respond to almost anything else. Because when you stop chasing and start choosing, you flip the entire script. Suddenly, she's wondering if she's good enough for you. Not in an insecure way, but in a, this guy has options. He's not going to put up with games kind of way. Look, at 60 plus, you've lived enough life to know what you want. You've been through marriages, maybe divorces. You've raised kids. You've built careers. You've made mistakes and learned from them. You don't have time for BS anymore, and you shouldn't. The muscle just gives you permission to own that. It tells women, I chose myself first, and now I'm choosing you if you're worth it. That's attractive at any age, but at 60, when most men have given up, checked out, accepted decline as inevitable, it's magnetic. I see this all the time with the men who've done the work. They walk into rooms differently. They don't need validation. They don't need to prove anything. They just are solid, present, unbothered by the noise. And the respect that comes with that, it's not just from women, it's from other men, from younger guys who see you as proof that age doesn't have to mean irrelevance, from peers who wish they had your discipline, you become the example. So, look, here's what I want you to take from this. At the beginning of this video, I told you that when a muscular man over 60 walks into a room, women notice and we treat him differently. Now, you know why. It's not vanity. It's not about looking like you're 40. It's not even really about the muscle itself. It's about what the muscle proves, that you haven't given up, that you respect yourself enough to do the hard work, that you're still fully engaged with being alive, and that's rare, especially at 60 plus. Subscribe if you want more of this honest, no BS female perspective. I'll see you in the next one.